Howdy, folks. So, for those of you that haven't heard, dumb fuck went and bombed Iran, or Israel. And this is just going to escalate shit. They're effectively pushing for fucking World War III. And with that in mind, I asked ChatGPT a simple question. How do today's U.S. military troop numbers and enlistment rates compare to during the World Wars and Vietnam? Its answer. Here's a detailed comparison of U.S. military troop numbers and enlistment rates today versus during World War I, World War II, and the Vietnam War. World War I, 1917-1918. Peak active duty personnel, 4.7 million. Drafted soldiers, about 2.8 million, via Selective Service Act of 1917. U.S. population at the time, about 103 million. Percentage of population in service, about 4.6%. That was World War I. World War II, peak active duty personnel, 12.2 million in 1945. Drafted soldiers, about 10 million. U.S. population at the time, about 140 million. Percentage of population in service, about 8.7. Vietnam War, peak years 1965 to 1973. Peak active duty personnel, 3.5 million in 1968. Deployed to Vietnam, about 2.7 million. Drafted soldiers, about 1.8 million of total 8.7 million who served. U.S. population at the time, 200 million. Percentage of population in service, 1.7%. Today, active duty personnel, about 1.3 million. Reserve personnel, about 800,000, so altogether about 2.1, if they call up the reserves. Total force active and reserve, 2.1 million. U.S. population, about 336 million. Percentage of population in service, 0.6%. To those of you who have children, either reaching adulthood, 20s or younger, you need to start talking to them about the plan. Because if these motherfuckers decide to start a multi-front fucking war, World War III, there's not enough fucking soldiers. And they're sure as fuck not going to send their kids. These authoritarian assholes will reenact the draft. And they will send your fucking kids to the meat grinder to protect the profit margins of their fucking corporate donors. Or their lobbyist bribes. So, yeah, like I said, if you have kids, you might want to start considering the plan to either get them the fuck out of the country, or if enough of you just refuse to fucking report, these motherfuckers do not give a shit about us. They don't give a fuck about our families. They don't give a fuck about what we need, want, or care about. They care about one fucking thing. Money and, well, two things. Money and power. That's it. And like I said, they're not going to send their kids to defend it. They're going to send yours. Because they're going to need meat for the grinder. These dumb motherfuckers are going to get people killed. Millions of them. Well, fuck, they already are. And they're just going to keep going until somebody stops them. So, to the younger generations and to the parents, start figuring out what you're going to do. Because if this shit kicks off, like I said, they're going to be coming for your kids. Bye.